Welcome
to GeekStorm.
GeekStorm, right here. This is the show.
This is
on the wrong
show.
show. Gotta go. Oh wait. GeekStorm it is.
Here.
Hey, it's GeekStorm.
Yeah.
I'm Shawn Hilton. I'm the owner of Comics Cubed. I helped put on the Kokomo-Con, the largest comic convention in the state of Indiana for the last 4 years.
And it's awesome.
You are?
I am April Thatcher.
Yes.
I do GeekStorm.
You know who she's not? Michael Harrison, because he's at Dragon Con.
Drag Queen?
No, don't get that started
Dragon
again.
Con, yes,
It took him a long time to get rid of that last time. You know who else you're not?
Who else am I not?
Mike Dukes, who co-hosted last week and did an amazing job.
Weird.
We set the internet on fire. World record numbers, premiere craziness. He was awesome. I also noticed that the cameras worked fine when he was over here. The lighting worked fine. None of the microphones went dead. So yeah,
you know what?
It all worked.
It's on my amazing energy. I just have some feel that just breaks.
Is that it?
Yeah.
All right, Magneto. How about you let the cameras work this week?
All right. Okay.
So, what did you do this week? What's going on before we get into all our stuff? What was in Kokomo? You got kids went back to school?
Oh yeah.
How are the kids? How's school?
They're doing good.
Are they getting educated?
Yeah. But I haven't been here in a while.
You haven't been?
I've missed GeekStorm.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Tremendously. And while you were at Gen
We
Con,
missed you.
I missed you.
Glad you're back. You're so much hotter than Mike.
And I got to work in the wonderful Comics Cubed while you were at Gen Con.
You
So
did.
I got to meet some of you guys. Some
Did
of
you
our
a
awesome.
huge favor.
Oh, it was awesome.
You have fun?
I had a great time.
Are you ready to be the comic chick now? Or comic gal? I'm the comic guy. People just call me the comic guy. I get that all the
Okay.
time. My name to like half of Kokomo. Say comic
There
guy.
were definitely some people or some other girls that came in that had much more knowledge than I did.
All right, well, it's
So-
okay. You got to get your comic knowledge. You got to
Yeah.
build. You're
I
the
can
101
help out
level
some.
class.
Yeah.
So we'll build you up to the 200 level by next year. It's all good.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. We'll graduate you through.
Okay.
So are there any other fun and interesting things going on in the community that we should be aware of before we get going into all the other nonsense?
Oh,
But what's important here in Kokomo? I know that we broke some
Well-
ground on the YMCA and the new parking garage going on
Yeah,
downtown. So
there's
that's kind of
actually
exciting.
like the 3D thing you can watch to see what it's going to look
A
like.
3D thing?
A 3D fly through video and
That's insane.
It is
Did you make that,
insane.
Mike? Nope, that was very complicated. They had to have all the cameras working and the lights working when they did that. So, excellent. So those look kind of fun.
yeah.
New Y, millions of dollars, a lot of investment going on in the city of Kokomo, so that makes me happy.
Right.
I'm not so necessarily thrilled that it's right across the street from my store because of the dirt and the dust, but I am
Yeah.
very happy for the overall growth of the city itself, so I'm thrilled with that.
Kokomo's awesome. It's a growing place.
It is. I didn't bring my pen. You know what? You used to do the farmers market like every Saturday,
I did.
and I don't know that you're doing it quite as often. I imagine you're still going
No,
once in a
no.
while.
Nope.
No? Well, I went
This
down.
is my only gig.
I went down there last week as we were just kind of floating around, and
It's
it
moved.
is.
It's moved.
But there is somebody down there, and I'm not related to him. They were selling like hand carved pins or whittled pins or something done with pins. So I got a brand new pin. It was
Oh.
amazing. It's super cool. It's a bolt action pin. It's got like a shell casing at the
Good.
top, a shell casing at the bottom, and then the actual thing is like kind of the bolt action thing to do it. So
That's cool.
not that I'm a big gun nut, but I was like, that's so
That's cool for a
cool
pin.
that I want. Yeah, and it's like, and again, it was crafted right here in the local areas, so I had to get me a pin.
I got a really cool wood cutting board from there too.
See?
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
cool stuff in
Definitely
Kokomo.
visit it.
Tomorrow morning, the farmers market is in full
9 to 1.
9 to 1 full swing right
Yeah.
now. So highly recommend checking out the farmers market. There's some.
Oh,
it's not just
actually,
like
this coming week I believe is Hog Week.
Hog Week.
Would
That-
Harley
that-
something
that's
motorcycles.
You had me excited. I was like, there's going to be bacon, ham, pork roast, and
I'm
pork
sorry.
chops,
Oh,
and pork
you can
tenderloin.
get like grass-fed pork and beef there.
I really don't care what you feed it as long as I eat it. I don't know. I'll like me some pig. It's a yummy animal. So all right. So tomorrow, check out the farmers market. Some awesome.
Yeah.
It's not just farmers market stuff. There's a lot of cool crafts.
The artist maker.
Yeah,
Makers, artist market, something like that.
Get out there, check it out. It's a lot of fun. I think you're gonna really enjoy it. We had a good time there. So all right. So into the actual world of GeekStorm. What are we gonna start off with this week?
Well, this week we switched things up.
We do.
Yeah, we didn't go to a movie
Film.
in the theaters.
No. Well, Kirsten's still not comping us that, so we have to pay that
No.
out of our pocket.
Right.
So if I'm gonna pay
And it's
for it
not
out of my
Kirsten,
pocket,
anyway.
oh, is it
AMC.
AMC, sorry. AMC's
okay.
not going to comp it. So
Hey, AMC.
they
We're
just
on
refuse to
GeekStorm.
do it. So we go on television, we talk about it. We go on the internet, we talk about it. I understand there's a lot of people doing this stuff right now, but it's also expensive for us to do a Thursday night premiere. It's like $10 or so, which
Right.
to me, I don't make a lot of money. So if I'm going to pay out of my own
GeekStorm
pocket
pays
to
terribly.
do the review, it's going to have to be stuff that I'm at least interested in, or I think the populace is interested enough in that I should report on it.
Right.
And I think it's been a week, 2 weeks. So
Okay. So
next week, though,
that means
we can.
Yes, next week we are
preview.
going to see Riddick. Is that how you
Yeah,
pronounce it?
Riddick.
Riddick.
I think it's Riddick.
Mike Dukes, how do you say
he's
that?
He's definitely the Riddick.
Okay. Riddick.
It's Riddick.
Ridiculous.
No.
Hopefully it's not.
All right, he'll do the. If he does the panda dance this time, that would be ridiculous. But he does a panda dance in another movie. He did like a kindergarten cop kind of rip-off thing for Vin Diesel.
Okay.
Vin Diesel is Riddick, and he's also the newest version of kindergarten cop, and in it he has to do the panda dance.
Okay.
So he's walking around acting like an idiot, and it's very funny.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna go see that next week and talk
Yeah.
about it. So
But this week instead.
it's the third movie of the series.
Yeah.
First one was great. The second one I
Well,
thought kind of sucked.
we can tell them about that. Well, save it. Just save it for next time.
Sorry, Mom. Being scolded.
Okay, so instead, this week, we did new DVD releases.
New DVD, except the one you're talking about wasn't new. It's like came out in 2010, I
Well,
think.
whatever. Shh.
It's new to them.
They haven't watched it.
It's a French movie.
Pretty much guarantee it.
All right.
So,
Tell us all about it.
which one?
Which ones did you watch?
Well, you said the French movie, so
I
guess
like
we'll
the
go with
French
that.
movie.
All right. We watched The Extraordinary Adventures of Adèle Blanc-Sec.
And Adele is not, in fact, the chick who sings the James Bond song.
Or-
She is, but she's not the. It's not the Amazing Adventures of I'm a British pop queen singing music.
I have a chicken I named after her.
Excellent. So the Extraordinary Adventures of Adele.
Yes.
Something,
Blanc-Sec.
which was
She
directed
says,
by Luc Besson.
Like the wine.
Oh,
White and dry.
is it fun? Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, people would know because this is a French film. It was
Right.
done by Luc, who did some great stuff. What else did he do? Why don't you tell us?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't take notes. I'm going off the cuff today.
All right, well, go
Which
with
is
it. I like it.
terrible.
I like the no
It's
notes
terrible.
thing. Let's do it.
So,
Look,
the
that's
show's
all.
gonna suck. Sorry.
Too late.
A little
You've already-
less
You've already
time
dragged it out
to
like
stare down.
7 minutes of garbage. So
Whatever.
shoot it down.
It's
What
okay.
else you got?
All right. Well,
So tell us about this movie.
Okay. I was a little terrified it was going to be like subtitles.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you were a little terrified because I'm the one that recommended we watch it.
No.
All right, subtitles.
Okay. Not that I can read. I just have a very tiny TV. and
Oh,
so-
you know what? Little tiny TV does make subtitles hard to see. If you've got to get a microscope out, like I don't, it's gonna
Yeah.
bad for your eyes. Your kids are wondering what the hell you're doing. Did you watch it with your kids at
Magnifying
all?
glass? No.
So you and the husband, or just you?
Me and the husband.
All right. So let's get into it. What do you think?
Okay, so the movie is about this adventurer, Adele. Yes, she's also a writer. The whole point of the movie is that she is trying to find this mummy doctor so that she can bring her sister back to life.
No, is her sister dead or just really hurt?
I never really knew until the end,
Okay.
and you didn't finish watching
I didn't
it.
see. Yes, I did. Yeah.
So, I thought she was dead through most of it.
So I just thought from the stuff that was said in the part, because I only got to see half of it, I ended up having to stop in the middle for some personal reasons. And I was under the impression she was ill, not dead, but like seriously sick,
Did you
a
see
condition.
on her forehead?
Uh-uh.
Okay. She has a hat pin shoved through her head.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
she actually was alive. She just appeared to not be.
Okay. So the whole
And-
point of this is that Adele is looking for a cure
Yes.
to fix her
And
sister.
she knows the scientist guy, Esperatu or whatever.
Okay. Scientist dude.
Yeah. And he has figured out how, like, he has a lot of
Use our words.
not ESP, not clairvoyance. The ability to move telekinesis.
Oh, that's good.
That's what it is.
That's good. I like that. You pulled that right out.
See, look, no notes.
It was a very tight jar, but we got it open. Telekinesis, okay.
Telekinesis, and he, can control objects. And one of the objects that he is controlling is a pterodactyl. He is practicing bringing a pterodactyl back to life before he brings this mummy doctor back to life.
Okay.
And
well, let's be on telekinesis then. I mean, telekinesis is moving stuff, but he's like possessing them or something.
Well, it begins with telekinesis.
I like it. Okay.
And so anyway, the pterodactyl causes issues. She finds the mummy. It's hilarious. It's like so trying to be serious, but so ridiculous.
Okay. The little bit I got through was very funny. Yeah. It was very, very funny. A lot of action.
And if you know a little bit of history, it really helps. And I don't want to spoil the end.
Indiana Jones definitely is, it's riffing on that kind of a feel, but with a female character who is not Lara Croft. This is... She's like a little badass chick who is fully clothed. Yes, she's like British prim and proper.
Yes.
And then just watches as horrible things happen to people who deserve it.
Very snarky.
She's very condescending. I agree. I like her. She's my kind of character.
Yes.
So I'm going to look out for further stuff, and I will finish it this week and then give you some of my final impressions next week.
Well, I can't wait till you see the end.
All right. So now you also watched The Great Gatsby.
I did.
Which I didn't watch. I know nothing about. So go about so I can drink my Coke and play on my kid.
So The Great Gatsby is about dinosaurs and...
What? How the hell did I miss that in the previews?
So you know something about it, obviously.
There's dinosaurs?
No. Okay.
Are you lying to me?
I might be.
You had me at dinosaurs.
Aw.
Maybe they do one of those mashups because they're so popular now. They started off with the who's the famous female writer? The Women, was it Little Women?
I don't know.
It was Pride and Prejudice.
Okay.
It was Pride and Prejudice with zombies.
Okay.
So they've and then there was Abraham Lincoln Vampire Killer.
Oh, yes.
They're doing all these mashups now of like famous
Right.
writings or historical stuff, and then adding in crazy monster elements. So we could do The Great Gatsby with dinosaurs. He could be like the little dude from Jurassic Park, because isn't he incredibly rich? I haven't seen the movie. Is he wealthy?
I didn't read the book actually.
Of course I didn't read the book.
Ridiculous because I didn't. But
all right, well I'm going
whatever.
on blathering, so I'll just let you go while I get my next thing ready. My thing's gonna be cool.
I did not like the producer. Do you know who the producer?
You don't like the producer? Okay, I
No,
was out. I'm back.
no.
I don't like the producer. What?
I
It's an ex-boyfriend or something? You're bitter? You're like, oh, I hate that guy. He's such a bad producer. I couldn't even tell you what. I throw the name producer around like I know what the hell they do occasion.
I didn't. It's not that I don't like the producer. Okay. I didn't like Romeo and Juliet remake.
Oh, okay. You don't like that stuff. You don't like the mashups of modern and Shakespeare.
Well, in that.
Of course, when it came
out, I was like such a big
Shakespeare did not write
junkie.
The Great Gatsby. I'm aware of that. Okay, sorry.
Okay, but I loved the modern soundtrack with this movie because it wasn't like over the top. The songs were mellowed down to.
Gotcha.
And I loved the era it was about.
Sure, the 20s.
And yes.
So ragtime
all
swing.
Roaring 20s.
Guys wearing hats. It's all cool.
Gorgeous cars. Yeah.
What happened to those cars? Why is it now? I'm sorry, I'm going to digress, but 1920s we have these fabulous vehicles. I mean, we have got the most amazing cars on the planet. Yeah. They look the most stylish things ever. They are, the capability of rolling down the runway in a fashion show. And now we have square boxes that people are trying to say are fashionable. I can't even say what, but I mean, there's like some truck that really is, it just looks like a giant square. How is it that we went from suicide doors and running panels, kick-ass, just, man, I want to own that car, to this crap we have now? I've got a Hyundai.
It's a functionality cost.
I will give up some safety for a kick-ass ride made of steel any day of the week.
Yeah, you should check out Jay Leno's garage.
Sure, but isn't he buying old cars and refinishing them?
Yeah.
It's not like I can go down the lot. It's like the McDonald's of vehicles anymore.
He keeps some of them original.
All right, I'm done. I'm sorry. You were going on about your Great Gatsby movie.
Great
and
Gatsby.
I digressed, and I apologize.
The Great Gatsby is an amazing story. I think every woman hopes someday that, it's a great love story, mixed with a little craziness and.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Oh yeah, he's kind of hot. He grew up well, I think.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But well, and the whole concept was that he was supposed to be, debonair, and he started with nothing and built up an entire life based around this Daisy, one girl.
Daisy.
Yeah, even lived across the bay from her, and
She never knew, did she?
and no, and he threw these amazing parties every night.
Just to
in the
impress
hopes
Daisy?
that- yeah.
Sounds like
No,
a sad,
not to
sad
impress
love story.
her, in the hopes that she would show up one day.
Wow, that sounds sad.
It is.
You know, it might be the all-time
You know what?
great thing
You're
for.
not paying attention.
It might be the all-time greatest thing for a girl, but for a guy, it sounds like every day of his life. It's just on a smaller scale. We're always trying to impress the woman, whoever that woman is. The two guys running the cameras, they'll both agree. You're trying to impress whoever that is. We're doing our version of throwing that grandiose party. Now maybe it's not the
You're
actual
missing out on
party,
something, then,
but
because-
trust me, we're always doing something stupid. It sounds like every story of every guy just maximized with a lot of fat cash to me.
I don't think so.
But all right.
I don't think that's.
You don't think
you guys
so?
are an exception.
All right.
But anyway, it was
My
awesome.
Daisy's name
it was
is Christina.
beautiful. Aw, so sweet.
Unless, of course, he murders her or something horrible in this movie I haven't seen, in which case, no, it's
Oh my.
not. All right, cool. So you liked it.
She ends up accidentally running over her husband's mistress.
Are we sure that was an accident?
It was
All right.
a strange twist of fate. It was a beautiful movie, and I don't know if you like cosplay girls or not.
I like most girls.
There is one called Ivy Doom Kitty.
Ivy Doom
Yeah,
Kitty.
she actually watched the movie the same night I did, and she loved it also, which I thought was
So
pretty cool.
Ivy Doom Kitty is a cosplay. Now you've used that word, and people are thinking very strange things. You might want to define what it is to the public
She
because they don't.
dresses up in
Costume.
costumes, like comic type related. Yeah.
Okay.
She's built very well.
Now define that because I'm unclear on what you mean by.
She's like pow pow pow. Yeah.
So she is curvy.
She's very curvy.
All right.
Yes. But anyway,
Like those old cars.
yes.
Man, those were cool. I can't get over the old cars. So.
Do you like Bugattis?
I don't watch those videos. I don't care what people
Oh.
say.
What?
So,
You probably do. You'll have to look it up later since you don't know anything about cars. Okay. Anyway, we're moving on. I know you have
Sweet.
something you're waiting to talk
no.
about.
I've just been fidgeting with toys because I've got like props today, and so.
I got comic books from last week.
It turns out I love
What was it?
comic books.
I had a double chest cold or something.
Something weird. You weren't feeling
Something
well. We had to
weird.
come up with some reason why
I
you weren't
don't
here.
know. Two chest
It couldn't be
colds.
just that there was fog and your kids couldn't go to school. That was a little boring.
So the first one I'll start at Batman 66.
Batman
The
66.
second one has come out. Oh, we're going this way?
No. I don't know, Chloe.
This way?
Just hit 'em all. No.
We don't know.
Yeah, we get no direction. All right, so Batman 66.
Yeah,
this is
cool.
based on the old
Right.
TV series of Adam West.
This one had
Oh, the
Mr.
characters even
Freeze,
look
the
like-
Penguin, and who else?
Like that looks like Burgess Meredith. That looks like Burt
Okay.
Ward. That looks like Adam
I have to
Ward.
see. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be rude.
Yeah, well, too late.
Whatever. I'm that way.
This art's great.
Who's this guy?
I love this art.
Well, it's like there's a second book back here.
Oh, is
It's
there?
Like entirely different.
Okay.
Oh.
So this art is by Jonathan Case.
Yeah. Whoever that's.
Jeff Parker's the writer. Jeff Parker's an excellent writer. I'm a big fan of his.
Anyway, it was cool.
Cool.
The first one, it was like so fresh,
Just
kind of.
bam,
Yeah,
wow.
I love that.
This is great.
So, and then the other stuff I read is not like that at all.
Kick. You know?
Yeah.
So would
This
you
is good.
recommend this for everybody or just fans of the old
Oh.
show? Is this, kid
Yeah,
friendly?
it's appropriate for everyone. It's fairly light.
Okay.
It's not too.
Looks like a lot of
provocative.
fun to me.
It is a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the first one. Obviously, I got the second one.
Cool. Oh, the massive.
Yes, the massive. This is a brand new book. It's
been out. Yeah, it's actually been out for a while.
Gosh.
Sorry.
Whatever.
The first trade's out, and we do have that
Okay.
in stock.
Whatever. It's brand new to me.
It is, and that's fine. This is an actual plan that this company does called One for $1 or
Yes.
One for One. And the
Yeah.
idea is that they go back and reprint some of the books that have done fairly well, but they do it for $1. So you have a chance to buy the very first issue and read it just to see if you like it. And if you like it, then the trade comes out. And we do have the trade paperback of this book. So tell the world about it, because I'm excited.
All right. So obviously it's called The Massive. The cover was a little. At first I was like, "Is this the back?" Because it looks
Sure.
like it has.
It's strange.
Yeah. But that's actually dates of events. So there are all kinds of things happening in the world: tsunamis, earthquakes, major destruction, and there are people living on this big ship. Apparently it was a fleet of 2, and now one is missing. But the way this book is set up, it's not just you reading a comic book. It's got
Like historical.
like documents
Yeah.
in it.
The idea, I think, is it's like kind of a post-apocalypse through nature.
Yeah.
Like the world revolted on us. No weird.
Yeah, like
stuff.
here in
It
the
was just
back,
like,
it's like,
they give you the what happened.
yeah, it's like the ship's
Log.
log,
So-
and then like the pictures
Yeah.
from,
So yeah, the idea is instead of like a
Maps.
war or some kind of nuclear event or whatever,
Right.
nature just finally, global warming, all the things that we've been talking about, all go to hell, and the world starts falling apart, and the water's rising and rising and rising, and people are living now on ships and boats, and this is the story of what happened. So
they're trying to survive. But these aren't just people trying to survive. It's kind of, I can't remember the name. It's kind of like the Coast Guard. They're the Peace and Peace Corps kind of mixed
like a
together.
Greenpeace kind of whaler,
Yeah.
anti-whaler kind
Yes,
of thing, or
exactly.
something like that.
That's exactly. And they're supposed to be non-combative and peaceful. And there's a female character
Who's
who's
very combative.
Yes, very combative, and manages to kill people without any weapons. So it's pretty cool.
It's a really good book. It's well written. There's a lot of action and drama with a lot of cool intrigue. It definitely feels like the beginnings of a TV series, possibly, or
yeah,
a really in-depth movie. You've got a lot of different concepts coming together that I think non-comic fans are going to like. It reads a lot like a book. It
Yes.
feels a little more paced and whatnot, like a traditional
Well, and there's a little
kind
more
of novel.
like brain candy.
Absolutely. And as you said, you're getting a lot of extras in there from the ship's logs and other stuff. So it's like a comic that comes with DVD extras with kind of a cool story that's a little different than what people are seeing. There's no superheroes.
Right.
There's no action and capes and stuff like that. The action in
Right.
this is, what do we do when we need fuel?
Right.
We're about out of gas. We need some petrol. What are we going to do? And there's marauders and raiders in all the ports
Petrol.
and horrible things and things like that. Also, you picked up Tony Harris's
I did.
brand new Chid music.
And it's all screwed up because I've read it and looked through it a lot of times.
Tell everybody about it. I love Tony Harris. Huge fan of his artwork.
Well, it kind of goes back to, like everything is kind of themed in the 20s this week, it feels like.
You have a lot of Art Deco in our lives today.
Yes, which I love. I love Art Deco. His art styling is amazing. Even the way he breaks down the space between frames, he puts in the Art Deco.
Yeah, he's got
feel.
circles and things
the
that
lines
intermix it, and
And you could almost just see the story without even knowing the words. So
I
I'm
think
looking
Anthony's
for-
just phoning it in this week.
Oh, are you okay back there,
Cares at
bud?
all. I think he's not worried about his Daisy right now. That's for sure. Very
Oh,
adult
yes.
book, by the way.
Oh yes.
Oh, holy cow!
We had to keep this one away from the kids because my
Yeah.
son found it and was giggling.
I bet.
But it's amazing. It's very dark, but I'm in love with it.
It's a really good
I
book.
love
Great
the
artwork. What's the story?
gangster style. Well, it's like a detective kind of detectives and gangsters all mashed up in some weird zombie kind of magic.
So, gangsters, zombies, 1920s noir, amazing artwork, a little adult, definitely not for children. I just saw like a big sex scene in there,
Yeah.
so which I'm all up for. That's all
Yeah.
good, but
I thought you were gonna say
that is the kind of book
something else.
that if some little kid brought that up to my counter, I'd be like, "Hey,
Oh,
sorry,
yes.
kid, not going to happen."
Right. What is it?
We do a lot of that at Comics Cubed, where we have to inform mom and dad, listen, I understand that you think The Walking Dead's acceptable for your 8-year-old, but the show is very tame compared to what's going to happen in this book. And then we'll show them a few panels, and normally they walk away. But every once in a while, people buy stuff that just makes me shake my head.
You own art.
Yes, I own art by this artist.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I love Tony Harris.
I would own art by him too.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
My wife's not a big fan, but I love his stuff. So I think she's not a big fan because I've spent hundreds of dollars on his artwork back when I was single, and now I don't. But there's still that. You like that stuff. That was the world of comics. You didn't say, by the way, in the world of comics. Comics.
It's okay.
Whew, bless you.
But thank you for blessing me.
I was trying to cover it, but
okay.
That's okay. Don't worry about it now. I give up. So this week I have got. I've been on Kickstarter. I've been doing a little Kickstarter stuff lately. Kickstarter seems to be, for right now, the new hot. Well, the truth is, it's the old hot thing. It's been around. The hip kids have been doing this for a while. Even I've been doing this for a year or two, checking out stuff. But while searching around just to look for just weird stuff, I came across something that I actually did pledge like $130, $140 to. And it is called the Choosatron. And it is an interactive fiction arcade machine. The idea is that you have what looks to be a fairly small, squat, old school kind of style box. Not very high tech looking. If you're a child of the 80s and you remember some of the, or even the late 70s, the really early arcade machines, they weren't pretty. And the idea is very, very simple. It is a little box with a thermal printer in it, with 4 buttons that appears to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is printing out an old school choose your own adventure book. That if you were also a kid of the 80s, the choose your own adventure books were like the coolest thing in the world back then. So the idea is this is a fun little interactive machine that you start and it pops up and it starts the story. And instead of going to the page, you hit the button and it goes there and it prints it out on the thermal paper. So as you're reading, you're also having a printout, which you'll get to rip off and keep, and you're making the decisions as you go. And I helped the library here in Kokomo quite a bit. I'm teaming up with the Literacy Coalition here for First Friday. And this is the kind of thing that I want to put in my store. I wish I'd had enough money to buy 10 of these things to put at the Literacy Coalition, at all the libraries, because I think it's the kind of thing that, yes, it looks fairly low tech. It looks super
but that's
fun.
Kind of the draw.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to hold it up because they're not going to possibly see it. But
it's like a little plywood box with a cutout and like little pixelized face.
Yeah, and I don't even think that's real. I think that's actually just a printout that they put there. I don't think there's anything.
Oh,
like
really?
that. Yeah, I really don't think that's actually like a digital stream.
Inner shadow.
It absolutely does. I'm telling you though, from what I can see, not the case. But the idea is, I think this is the thing that a kid is going to walk up to initially and be like, what is this? And then by the time you're done, they're going to read the entire story. They're going to be super excited about it, and they get to keep the souvenir of the story, which they can take home and go, Mommy, your kids be like, check it out, here's my story. And not only did I read it, but I helped write it because I made all the decisions. I think that's the interactive nature of it. That I don't have kids, I don't understand kids, but this in my head, all makes sense.
Weren't you a kid?
Aren't
you still kind of
supposedly, but there's rumors that I was cloned.
You were born like this?
Yeah. Receding hairline at the age of 3 or something. So it's called the Choosatron. It's on Kickstarter. And unfortunately, it's only got 11 hours to go. By the time we get this posted, it'll probably be over, but it's something I still think people should check out. I really enjoy what it seems to be about. And the video for it is great. Really well done video for it. So it is probably my pick of the week on Kickstarter for stuff for people to check out. The Choosatron interactive fiction arcade machine. I have ordered one. I hope by Christmas that we'll have it at Comics Cubed and people can come in and check it out. And then once I get bored with it, I will probably donate it to the local library, the Literacy Coalition. Because I won't play with it first. I mean, the nice guy. But I won't play with the little toy. It looks like fun. I'll invite Mike over and Anthony and you. We can do a little choose your own. We can bring it right here. We can do a choose your own adventure.
That'd be awesome.
It'll be great.
That'd be great.
So next week we're going to talk about Riddick. We're going to talk about some more comics. I'll talk about. We should have new TV popping up here soon.
The Shield. There's been a lot of stuff
September
going on
24th. So we've got a lot of TV's getting ready to kick off.
Is the Josh Whedon guy in that?
Joss, not
whatever,
Josh.
Whatever. sorry.
Mr. Whedon is
Yes.
the
He's looking at
producer. I think he's directing the very first episode. And it seems like, from what I'm reading on the internet, so keep it for what it's worth, it looks like his part is becoming more and more active. Originally, I think he was going to come on, be a producer, kick the ball off, get it started, and then just do the first episode. Now I think we're going to see him come back every once in a while and be a little more heavily involved.
Okay.
So good looking stuff. So next week, movies, TV, Riddick, we'll do some comics. Oh man, I forgot to talk about the book I read. I brought this because of that too. I actually read like I read an ebook. Now I'm gonna save it until next week.
We'll
We're
save
over
it for
time.
next
So
time.
thanks for checking out GeekStorm. I am Shawn Hilton. The Kokomo Con is coming up October 19th. It is a massive comic book convention that everybody should go to.
And we'll be there.
We'll all be there live, perhaps in character for some of us. And remember, Comics Cube, a real store with real merchandise. You're supposed to say your name now.
Oh, I'm April Thatcher. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page. Comment. Do something. We want to see what you want. We want to hear, if you hate us, if you love us. What?
Bye, everybody.
Bye.